Welcome everyone to today's edition of the SIG Instrumentation regular bi-weekly meeting. It is Thursday, September 17th. And let me just get a copy of the agenda, which I will paste in the chat if I can find it. Thanks everybody for joining us. For those who are unaware or for those who will be watching the recording, we now have a new passcode as part of the Zoom Kubernetes policies. So everybody is using a passcode of 5 sevens, that is 77777. Our invites have all been updated and links and whatnot, but if you have trouble, that is probably why. First item on the agenda today, I had something on here about talking about KEPs targeted for 120. I don't know if we want to talk about other things before that, because that might be kind of long, and I don't want that to take up the whole meeting, but we're in a new release cycle. We need to know what KEPs we're planning on doing work on for this release cycle, so. Other folks, feel free to jump in. I'm not the only one with a voice here.
I'm not sure we necessarily need to discuss all of them here. Maybe I think I saw, David, you were planning on working on some things. Could you make sure to re-ping people if you need another review on anything? I wasn't sure what state those were in. Maybe they were completely done already. I just saw a couple of comments.
No, I need to reach out to Daniel again and get him to look at the tracing KEP. I'm actually hoping to put together a little mini demo for them. So I've been working on that a little bit. But yeah, I'll poke them and make sure that moves forward.
That sounds great. Those are the only ones that I've seen so far.
We've got like 7 KEPs on the backlog. I put a link in the agenda, but also throw it in the chat here. And like, I think basically all of them, other than maybe tracing, I have like looked at recently. So, I mean, some of them are definitely like not ready to go ahead. Like there was at least one that was just not complete the last time I reviewed it. But I'm curious, like, because, you know, the release team is going to start chasing us down in terms of what we want to include in the upcoming release, especially given that this release is supposed to be like focused on stability, more so than usual because there were a lot of test problems with the last release. Like there's like 7 things here. I don't know basically the status of any of them, so.
I would say let's go ahead with the other agenda items and then take whatever time we have left to iterate over these. Okay,
great. Let's do that. I had a thing on here to follow up on the end-to-end test flakiness and the state of the blogging add-ons. Some folks have been assigned things there. Do you have any report back on that?
Yes, so I fixed the flake in the metrics grabber test. It turns out it was an interesting race condition where we were looking for metrics from the Kube controller manager and Kube scheduler. But the problem was that the master kubelet was being slow in creating the mirror pods. So even though the cluster was fully functional and up and running, and those containers were running, we weren't able to find their pod objects because the mirror pod hadn't been created yet. So I just added in a retry. The mirror pods should be registered fairly quickly. Also, it seemed to be because our test was being run at the very beginning of the test suite, so we were the first ones to try and test our functionality, and so we hit that race condition. But it hasn't flaked in the past 5 days since the fix was merged. So I closed the issue.
That's great. And then I think there was at least one assigned to Merrick. Do you have any updates on that one? The like stack driver stuff, I think.
I look at that one for stack driver. So it looks like the test is complaining about some of the pods is missing. Someone help comment on the pods, maybe like rename from fluentd-gcp to fluentd-gke. I haven't been able to bring up a test cluster and see it. Maybe it should be just a rename, but I need to figure out how to run the test myself.
Okay, makes sense. Great. And then I think there was one more, and I'm worried that we assigned it to Han, and Han is like not in right now because he's out on paternity leave. Let me double check that one. Yeah, that one's assigned to Han. So we have one similar test failing for Elasticsearch as opposed to Stackdriver. Does anybody want to pick that one up?
Did you confirm that this was assigned to Han? Because I feel like maybe it was something else Elasticsearch related, but we did assign something to.
Yeah, I pulled up the issue. The issue says it's assigned to Han, so the test flake.
Then I was thinking of something else.
Don't all volunteer once.
I unfortunately have no clue about those tests at all. So if anybody has more than 0 clue, they'd be better
I also have
suited.
0 clue. I assume that anybody who's going to be looking into this will go from 0 clue to like maybe half of a clue.
I mean, you can assign it to me for now. If I don't find enough time for it, then
Okay, then you can punt to someone else. Sounds good.
yeah.
Sorry, it is hard to try to run the agenda and also take notes at the same time. If people want to go ahead and like throw notes in, the one that I just pasted in there, Frederick, that's the one I'm going to reassign to you, and then you, if you want to if you want to put notes on the one that you've worked on, that would be great. Lily, next agenda item is what's going on with Kate's Prometheus adapter. Frederick, I reminded him of this, and we totally filed an issue to migrate it. So I don't know where that's at yet, but it's happening.
Yeah, Serge is now working on it. Serge is. He's working on it to migrate and to finish the migration. So far, it's only him and the owner's file as the project was inactive. So he added me temporarily as I have the most knowledge, at least in our team. But if anyone else is interested, it would be great to get more contributions on it. But we're definitely looking into investing more time into it. But yeah,
I'm happy to be there for. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, it's a lot of Kubernetes bureaucracy right now. So that's where the stage is at. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you need reviews or something, I'm.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I'm happy to be part of the owner's file if that makes reviews easier. I know the code base pretty well, so I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, the PR is linked from the issue, so if you can just comment on there.
I guess just as possibly a silly question, but do we want Solly on the owner's list, given that it's Solly's info?
Yeah, we added him as well. He's not interested from what I understood, to fully, but he is definitely added in the, I'm going to mispronounce this, in the past owners. What is it called?
Emeritus?
Thank you, yes. I always read it, but never pronounce it. So he's added on there, definitely, yeah.
Okay, and thanks for offering to help out with that one, Frederick. I don't think we have anything else on that one. So Lily has another topic, Cube State Metrics 2.0 Alpha. That's exciting. Yes,
pre-release though. So we finally managed to merge all the breaking changes, and it has a lot of breaking changes. So make sure to have a look at the change log. It should be complete enough, but if there's anything missing, let us know either on Slack or on GitHub, but it would be great if people can try it out and just report back if there's anything broken or wrong, or just in general, or good, really. So if it works, that's a good indicator as well. The main thing was a bunch of metrics we deprecated, and the namespaces flag and the allow list, the black-white list was renamed. And that's about it, I think. But yeah, the full is in the changelog, so yeah, please try it out.
Great. I'm sure it's excellent, and everybody will say how awesome it is.
Yes.
Okay, do we have any other business before we circle back on KEPs? Okay, let's circle back on KEPs. Maybe would it be helpful if I share my screen with like all of the backlog of the CAP issues? People are nodding yes. Okay, I'm gonna pop this out and share my screen and pray that it works. Let's see. What even is the button to do that? Share screen. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Is it big enough? Okay, so this is kind of why I wanted to go over this. We've got, I think, like 7 open issues for KEPs right now, and a bunch of them are like tracked yes from like, they're kind of fallen over to this milestone, but it's not clear if they're actually in progress or not. And so like, I just want to get sort of a better idea of where all of these are at, what we actually want to target for 120. All of these 5 have the actual 120 milestone on them. These ones don't, but there seems to be a lot of interest in getting them done, so.
I only see 3 of them with the 120 milestone. Those are the ones that David already had a look at. Yeah.
Which I assume means if it was 119, it's going to fall over to 120. I don't know if I don't think it's done, so.
We weren't really involved in this one, even though it's technically our area of responsibility.
This was the one that we got like a presentation on like the last SIG meeting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess let's come up to date on this one. Did it graduate in 119 or will there be work in 120? Oh, great. Kristen's checking in on this one. I'm wondering what to do with this one.
So let's track it for 120. So we just need to add it to 120.
Okay, so I will, I guess, update the milestone.
Yeah.
It's milestone 119. Hopefully that works. I don't trust these bot commands. Yes. Oh, now it has 119 too. Remove milestone. I don't know how this works. I will just let somebody else worry about that. Okay, so David, what's going on with tracing?
I need to ping Daniel again. I think it would help if I implemented part of it just to show them that the code changes are pretty minimal. But I hope this isn't too controversial. At last release, he just didn't have time to go through it. So I'm going to put some effort in the next week and make sure that this gets his attention, that I can address his questions.
Okay. It looks like for this one, we've got, we need to fix up the CAP and make sure that there are like test plans and whatnot before the enhancement freeze. So
that's
that?
October. Yeah,
October 6th.
That's October 6th. Okay.
Great. Structured logging, the ongoing adventure. So this targeted 119 for alpha. It's got lots of nice checkboxes here, which is great. So is the plan to put this in beta for 120?
So what would need to be done first would be to scope the work. Like there were some ideas for beta, but there weren't enough details to say like what should be exactly done. So first we will be to scope beta, and I don't know if I will have time to finish before because definitely I will not have time to manage the implementation this quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not sure if this one, we're planning on getting this done before the enhancement freeze.
Yeah, I would definitely need some help with scoping the work, and maybe someone I could help with implementation, but I could definitely not. Don't have time to fully organize it. Like previously, we had over 10 or 15 contributors with a lot of new contributors, and that was really it required a lot of work. It was great, but it's pretty doing it again, even on like for beta, it should be even more work. And then it's I cannot commit this for this quarter.
Okay. That sounds good to me. I can maybe help with the scoping, but probably not the implementation. So I think this one's a maybe.
I can help with some implementation, Merrick, if you need.
Okay. New unique logging metadata into key Kubernetes logs. What is that all about? I don't think I've seen this one.
Oh, this
so
is
the log tracking cap. This one I think is not yet close to being like implementable, so I'm not sure why we're tracking this one for 120. I think 121 might make more sense.
Yeah, this is one that resulted from a very, very long Slack thread between me and this person. It's sort of the planned follow-up to API server tracing, but we want to propose, or he's gonna propose it at the same time, but it does have a dependency on the current tracing cap.
I see. Yeah, well, I mean, we've still got like what, a couple of weeks before the enhancements freeze. So it's possible that this will get into a better state before then.
Is it really that big of a problem if the enhancement
It's missing
goes
like
to
a lot of implementation details. Like it's the cap was not done the last I looked at it. So we can't implement a cap that is like not implementable.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm just saying, like, is it that big of a deal to say that it's targeted for 121 for now, and if we don't manage to, then we move it out to 122?
I don't know what the owner is planning on this one. I think I gave that feedback like, yeah, a week ago, and there haven't been any updates since then. And the release teams also said the same thing. So, you know, if folks want to go and do all the work, like I'm not going to stop them from doing the work. I'd be happy to see it in 120. But you know,
right.
it's either going to make it or it's not. So.
Agreed.
Okay. I'm gonna suggest, like, assuming that the cap is actually completed and approved, we'll target 120. Otherwise, we're gonna go for 121. Okay, so I guess we've got 3 more to take a look at here. I reviewed this one recently. I'm going to wait for Clayton to respond on this one because I think there's a lot of feedback that's happened on that the PR for the cap. I think it looks relatively good. But it's just a matter of getting everything together to do that implementation. So I'm going to leave that with Clayton.
Yeah, I think the intention is sound, and largely the strategy is sound. I think it just needs to be consistent in itself.
Yeah, like it was just missing, like it was like small sort of nitpicky things, I think. So like, you know, it just needs to go through the review process and like work out all the kinks there, and then I think this one should be good to go. Certainly the premise of what it's trying to solve, and I think the general high level implementation is very good. So
yeah.
Okay, so that one is not tracked and we are good with that. Do we know what's going on with log sanitization and the static analysis?
Yeah, so I guess I can say a few words about those two. So there was no like significant progress on both of those recently, but those are definitely something that we would like to implement in 120. So both those are kind of interconnected caps, and we would like to have both in 120.
Okay. So I know that this one I think has already all been merged and whatnot. So I can set this one, the milestone, to 120. But for this one, I took a look at this. So this cap is currently in progress. It has not been merged or approved yet. I think this one there was still like it needs more reviews and potentially needs like some updates. And yeah, it looks like folks have taken a look at this recently. So other than me, I don't know if all of this has been addressed yet. But I would say that this one we potentially could target 120, but I think the cap needs to be like merged as like provisional before we can do that. Okay, then we got through them all, and we've got 5 minutes left. So see, that wasn't so painful. I'll just add this comment to this one. What's the number of this one? 73. Okay, I will stop sharing. Thanks everyone for bearing with me on that one. I hope nobody has any like secret caps that they want to like sneak in, you know, like last second, catching us all by surprise. I mean, if you have a secret cap, I mean, that's cool. I like secrets, but I will not be able to approve it, so. Does anyone have any other business for today? Lots of heads shaking no. Does anyone want to say hi? No.
No.
Hello.
Why not? Don't be antisocial. Well, given that we have no other business, we've done our CAP review. It's great to see everybody. I'm going to stop the recording, and thanks for joining us today. I'll see some of you hopefully in the triage meeting next week, and if not, the SIG meeting in 2 weeks. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.